Hello everybody, I'm the Crooked Gaber, and I've just played through the full release of Horror House, which is a standalone continuation of the Horror House original mod for Gary's mod. Since the game just dropped, I figured I'd share my thoughts. It's free on Steam, so if you're into it, I highly recommend checking it out. In fact, if you don't want spoilers, stop now, go play it, come back. My game dealer showed this to me. He had a Gmod addiction when he was younger, so he knows all the cool stuff that I wasn't around for. I was too busy playing Roblox back in 2009. I wasn't here for this. The game is built on the Source engine, the same one from Half-Life, and it definitely plays like it. But, you know, I think that's truly the charm of it. Right off the bat, it's fast, chaotic, and at first I thought it was going to be a straightforward boomer shooter, but the game quickly pivoted and started throwing curveballs my way. The real turning point for me was when I woke up in a hospital. So you go through this like prologue bit, which I assume is just the original game, and then the second part starts, which I believe is just the people who really liked the prologue making a full game out of it. I thought just for a second that the prologue was gonna be the only thing until the second bit started. I'm very glad it did. The game really kicks off when you wake up in this grimy hospital, kind of Outlast-y, and an unnamed doctor guides you over the intercom and wants to help you escape. It's all pretty straightforward at first, lots of like crawling through creepy spaces, zombies running down the hall, and then the game gets interesting, to me at least. A SWAT helicopter lands, and you go to find them so you can escape. And when you meet the SWAT team, they are NPCs, of course, but they follow you around and they have funny dialogue, in my opinion. Very reminiscent. I hate to put a year on it because I don't remember what it makes me feel like, but it just feels like an old game, and I love it. This part of the game stood out to me because it was unexpectedly dynamic. You have a firefight with this SWAT team, and it all culminates in one guy getting snatched, and you start running from what I call the squiggly zombies. They like run at you and like throw their whole bodies at you. They're again, not really scary. They were just annoying. It reminds me of that one episode from A Smile with Friends where he's in hell and the weird squiggly thing like jumps out at him and he punches it. That right there. I'll actually put that on screen so you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, they did a lot of that. And the SWAT team runs away and you fall in a hole. So you're by yourself again. But you'll get back to these guys, so don't worry about them. They're the best part of the game, in my honest opinion. The levels were where the game really shined to me. It's clear the developers had a lot of fun coming up with the creative scenarios. Most of the time, it feels like you're just walking through a haunted house rather than having to survive the horror, because you would have a jump scare that damaged you, and then immediately, you know, you get a bunch of health kits and ammo, which I prefer. I did not need my horror games to be difficult, because I will get annoyed and will want to quit. One moment that stuck with me was an area full of mannequins. Mannequins in horror games are classic, yes, but this one did something interesting and I liked it a lot. At one point, a SWAT member is behind some glass and he points you towards a lever. You have to pull it. And when you turn around, it's a mannequin that was behind the glass. Because it didn't talk to you, which was the sign. And I saw that and I was like, oh, this is freaky. So I walk past the mannequin through the door I just opened with the lever. And there is the missing SWAT member lying dead in the room. That was freaky. Like I was like this. I'm like, okay, this is really cool. I do love me some. You don't really understand the dangers that you're facing sort of scenarios. I was there for it. So you meet back up with the rest of the SWAT team for a second stint. I think the people who made this realized that the firefights with the team were really fun. I failed to mention though, these guys actually have some distinct personalities. At least two of them. One is sassy, and the other is the captain, who is just cool the entire time. You get to enjoy the horror movie mode because people start dying on you. As the game continues, the SWAT team doesn't fare too well. Another guy gets dragged under a garage door. Another one tries to kill the captain, but you shoot him to save the captain because the captain is cool. Cool kittens. It's like Shepard in the old MW3 games. He's just cool for no reason. Well, Shepard had a reason, I guess. Now, I was really surprised by this next bit. You follow the captain out, and you get to the helicopter pad because you're trying to, you know, escape the hospital. Very Outlast. The helicopter crashes, of course, because you never get to actually leave in these games. But it was a very beautiful cinematic for a game this old. Captain dies, his blood-spattered body is against the door, and he gives you all the exposition you get in the game, like every last bit. The plot doesn't make much sense, but they're there to kill the doctor that you were originally working with to escape. And he tells you, go put one in him for me, or escape. I don't care. And then he dies. My favorite being he has absolutely no sound of being injured until he just dies. Cracked me up. But I really like the character, so it did make me sad. Also, this game has 2 endings, a bad and a good ending. I got both because I couldn't help myself. But after the SWAT man dies, on the way down the elevator, the doctor lets you know that he heard the entire conversation, where the SWAT guy told you to go kill him. And he gives you the option to leave. If you do, Onion Dip murders you violently. It's really tragic. It really makes you wonder if Onion Dip's even the good guy, or at all. I think you're just kind of stuck in a really bad situation. So I did both just because I wanted to see. So I reloaded and went downstairs to observe where the doctor had been watching me from this entire time. And now I failed to mention, but throughout the game you're guided by like this ghostly grudge looking girl. She doesn't speak, but she's always there, and she leads you through each of the levels. I nicknamed her Onion Dip because she was my girlfriend and loved me, and her complexion was pale. She never said any of that, but I like to believe in games where I'm being haunted by ghost girls that I'm pursuing their love. It helps me not be spooked by the scary crap. So the doctor created this big orb thing in the basement of this hospital that keeps the girl from being able to like manifest entirely. And you figure out that all the zombies are actually the doctor guy. So it's all his fault. It's not the girl doing the scary stuff. It's the doctor doing the scary crap. You go down there and you have this big epic boss fight with an orb machine. And the way you beat it is you destroy the wood holding up each of the pillars. I didn't know this, and my gamer brain wasn't going for it. So I spent the better part of 30 minutes wasting all my ammo into this spinning orb until I googled the answer. I googled it. I couldn't figure it out. But I did. I took down the thing. You have a bunch of visions with a spooky Onion Dip girl. And then you win. The doctor comes out, the orb shuts off, and then in another rather cool cutscene, the Onion Dip girl, she murders this guy. She throws him against every wall, and for some reason he survived until she like eviscerated him.
Shit. Emily, my love, it worked. You're back. I'm sorry for everything that's happened. I'm sorry for everything I had to... No! No! Ah! Emily, listen. You're about to make a big mistake. The core. It's also...
Yeah, this game reminded me of Outlast, except Walrider is your friend, and he's not just like trying to murder everybody violently. I really dug this game. It was very spontaneous for me to do it. My Gmod friend told me to do it. My friend, my horror dealer. And I grabbed it and played it pretty quick. This came out just yesterday. I really recommend you play it. Even with knowing the story, it is rather fun. The horror levels that they do, they're all very cute, and each level has its own shtick that I wasn't quite expecting. I can tell whoever made this, very passionate. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. It's free. It's free, so it gets a 10 out of 10. Thank you for watching, everybody. I do really hope you enjoyed. This was a short one, very spontaneous. And until next time, ciao.